Hello, Kayanne here, and I've just been doing a bit of studio reorganizing and getting my supplies put away and reorganized, and just giving myself a little bit of a reward by playing with these two new white Posca paint pans that I was recently gifted with. I have been a long-time lover of Posca paint pens and have used them in a variety of forms and sizes and colors, and I love all acrylic paint pens, Posca being one of my favorite brands, and I am excited about trying these because these are a couple that are new to me. So to try these out, I have this Aqua Hot Press Stonehenge paper by Legion, and I have this cute little pad of black paper and that I use when I need to try things out. And so I'm going to try these. So the first one I'm going to try is the white. It's a 0.7 millimeter, and it has little directions on the side. So you shake these, and then to get it going, you do the typical paint pen thing of pumping it a bit. Starts to come. So then I can get a very fine line, which I really like. That's very cool. I think that will be very handy. For mark making, even correcting mistakes, all kinds of things. So very cool, very fine tip. That is going to be a real plus. And now this one I'm going to look at. Let's see, it also has directions on the side. We're going to see if I can interpret those correctly. It looks like this maybe, yes, I think it's got a push tip. Obviously with the brush tip you can't pump it up and down quite the same, so I think maybe you do this instead. So this has quite a different effect, which is also very cool. Quite different applications. I could see this being really fun to add into like some water, or to add some texture. So those are very fun, both very fun and both quite different, like opposite extremes. I really like that you can use this brush, kind of a dry brush effect by putting less pressure, or you can make it have a little wetter application. And I flipped this little page over and am just playing some more with it, trying out, see what it can do. This is the small tip pen again, and I think this is going to be very useful. Used much the way I would a white gel pen, and lots of good little mark making bits. But I think this brush pen is also going to be very fun. So I can see anytime you would be using white paint on a brush, you could use this instead. It'd just be very handy on the go. And I think it will go in my to-go kit for sure. So now I'm going to pull this little color swatch book out that I have just put some watercolor and paint down in, and try it on top of watercolor paint and see what it does. And it does, like, it's not completely opaque, but it's certainly opaque enough. Now with watercolor, it's going to just pick up a little bit of that watercolor, just like it would if I was using a paintbrush with some paint, with acrylic paint on it. But it is definitely stays opaque and will be useful, I think, on top of watercolor paint as well. The brush makes it super easy. I'm painting on these leaves instead of like drawing them and coloring them in like I would with a regular Posca paint pen. So you get all those advantages of that brush tip, and I think that's going to be very useful, and it sure makes for easier, quicker illustrations. And I love the look of white on top of darker colors. And for titles and lettering, this is going to be super nice. Another application I can see this being really handy for is effects of wind or water or clouds or that type of thing on top of an already painted surface. So that's something I look forward to investigating some more. Now that I've given these leaves a little bit of chance to dry that I did with the brush pen, now I'm using this fine tip. I think it's actually called an extra fine tip pen, and I'm using it to kind of do a white on white. So the this pen is slightly more opaque because of what the tip is like than the brush tip. Gives a little bit more translucent, or maybe that it's picking up a slight bit of the color, but it gives you the option of doing a white on white look, which I think is really fun. And then of course I can just do the drawn in version with this pen. Pulling out my sketchbook, and I just want to try using it to add a little bit of embellishment or highlights to things I've already done. So these are some monsters that I was getting, some journaling monsters, getting ready for my October patrons, and I am just using this white to just kind of accent, touch up any like little mistakes, add some highlights, whiten up some areas that may have gotten a little dingy in the sketching process, and just generally kind of having fun, seeing what it can do. This is how I think this fine point pen would be most useful, but I am using the brush pen to also add some of these embellishments. So I think between these two, I can add touch up mistakes, add highlights. I think they'll be really handy. This page already has several layers with these watercolors done on top of acrylic paint pen testing that I had done previously, and now I'm adding some more acrylic paint pen on top with these little highlights and embellishments. And it's really nice because since those markers showed through, this helps me make the little whites of the eyes be more opaque, the horns, add some little dots in there, just kind of clean things up a bit, and that will save me some time. I usually do all those kind of touch-ups digitally, and so I can do them right here in my sketchbook. And now I'm playing around a little bit with adding, like, giving it more of a hairy look, which I'm not very accomplished at doing, but I think it did give it a little more effect of that. And again, adding more highlights. Then on this little map crunch illustration, I'm going in and adding some white window panes on there, something that would have been kind of tedious to put in otherwise, but with this little tiny paint pen, it works perfectly. On another page, I found these watercolor leaves that I did. Obviously, I like doing leaves because they turn up all over the place, but I'm just adding some veining in with the extra fine tip pen. On this partially done piece of art, I'm going in and adding some embellishments, highlights, tidying things up too, because these will also be very handy, I think, in actual art making. Unlike a gel pen, which is water soluble, these are permanent and will mix well. Like I can paint right over them later. So adding some more embellishments here and there, just looking for places that I can touch up and have a little fun with them. This crazy page has all kinds of opportunities for adding more doodles and white on it, and so just playing around again with making marks and what I can do to kind of just add more. And then these kind of illustrations are a perfect opportunity for those little white details to add in. And as I worked on this, it's like, oh, I think I might want all the colors in this extra fine because it would be fun to work with different colors and do these like super detailed little illustrations. And it is just so easy to be very detailed with this extra fine tip. For those of you that like making dots, this is the perfect pen for dotting things. So as I flip back through here, I can just take a look at what some of the things I've done trying out these pens. And I've, made banners. I've done little illustrations. Like I really like this white on top of the black acrylic paint. I've done in my sketchbook, found all kinds of things that could use a little bit of embellishing. That's been very fun, like this little folk art bird, and then several other pieces as well. And then finally, I tried these out as I like to letter the spine of my sketchbooks, or at least recently I've been doing that, and this worked perfect to write the dates of the sketchbook on there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.